Why is my body in so much pain? Why? Don't understand. Why was I born this way? Where are you? Okay. Can you please leave Mastery Monday? I don't need to see that every time I log in. Okay, perfect. I wish melatonin didn't have insane adverse effects to the person. Did I say ibuprofen or melatonin? Ah, well. I wish that pain relief did not cause so much problems. I really do. I don't know what to do. Constantly feel like a failure for the way I was born, but we live, I guess. Oh. Damn, no chest on either of the boat or this hill? Damn. Oh, delightful. Please do not be the... Okay, it's travel distance, thank God. The one that requires you to gain shields is just like, well, thanks. Most of the time, by the time I get that, I'm already at full shields, so... It's really useful for me. I guess I'll take that instead of this. There's a gold thing over there. I'd love to get the hook shot to fish with. Damn, they got nothing up here? Wow. This is pretty... This is like the most dead I've seen this loadout. Shit. Hook shot? Damn, just a regular fishing rod. Ah, well. That's just a flopper. That's nothing. Hell yeah, baby. That is... What are you? Gummy Fire Sprite. Well, I already had a Gummy Fire Sprite, so that's not necessary, but I'll still take it. When I inevitably go and put stuff away. Oh, there goes a fire sprite. Well, I guess I can take that too. That's more XP. Oh, duck. Well, guess I'll take the duck sprite. And that. We bound over here, do a quick blast by this, see if there's a chest. There is. Yeah, this is the level I am at with this, I'm so used to doing this exact same route now to level up my sprites. It's great. Wait, did I already... I guess I already used 2 of them. Damn. Well... just keep on moving. Okay. Goodbye, Gummy Ghost Sprite. Ooh, Golden Hook shot. What are you? Fire Sprite. I've found 2 different fire sprites in the water. That's kind of concerning. I feel like that's not where you're supposed to be, my friend. Alright, well, luckily, we can just fly off into the distance, deposit these friends off, and we shall be good. I have a golden, what's it called? Or a legendary Uzi of some sort, so it shouldn't be too bad to get this done. So even if someone interrupts me, which I don't know if they will, 50-50 on that happening, but, you know. There we are. Alright. Where is Aisha? Aisha! Oh, she doesn't want to take damage, so she's the dot next to me. That's cute. Well... that's fine. Alright, goodbye my spritelings. Women. True. Well. I've now successfully gotten one of my many sprites mastered today, so that's good. Unfortunately, I've stayed in the same area so long and did not pick up any items because I was filled with sprites. So, all I have is my Uzi and 2 medkits, so that's delightful. See if there's anything people left behind, because just any amount of shotgun would be nice right now. Take that, I guess. Oh! I will take those for sure. Pistol? It is a pistol, thank God. The pistols are great this season. Okay. I don't really need a pulse scanner. I'll take it. I have to wait 10 seconds in the storm. Ah, friend. And by friend, I mean person to shoot at. Whee! Friend, return, please. You and me, together, forever. Damn, they're going into the... they're going into the pit. Alright. They insisted on that, so I'll just jump right on in here. Oh my god. Damn, that's unfortunate. Into the Pit, Five Nights at Freddy. I'm not... I do own it, because it was free once. I don't particularly want to play that, to be honest. I won't lie. I don't really want to play it. But maybe I will. Because my desire to play Dead by Daylight has decreased every day. Which sucks, because I've put so much fucking time into it. I have put 1,800 hours and 1,888 hours, so I have almost put 2,000 hours into that game. That's like so much. Because it really was good for a long time, and then they really fucked with the MMR. Considering you get genuinely very upset every time. Yeah. It bothers me because it used to be better. It genuinely used to be better. And I miss when it was good. That's genuinely it. Like, it is 100% a sunk cost fallacy on my part. I cannot lie. 100% sunk cost. Nothing more. Because, like, there's so much about it that's fun, and it's just, like, every change that they have made over the years has made it so much worse to play. And the thing is, it's just, like, any individual update that they have made... that game is... yeah, there's a lot of... I put some money into that. I did. I will not lie. But hey, you know, it within the world of capitalism, of all the things for me to waste my money on, that's pretty low on the level of just like, whatever. It's one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, money. Larger amount of money than one would wish to spend on it, but hey. It's not the end of the world. $10 DLC every 3-ish months. Actually, it's only like 5. It's considerably less than what you'd expect. And the most recent, like, original ones have been you can only buy them with in-game currency. You can't get them with money. Like, only the licensed ones now cost money, from what I can tell. Which is weird, because you can still buy the old ones. If only they would make... yeah, the way that the game has been balanced over the past few years that I've been playing has led me to the conclusion of just, like, they are still selling... yeah, the fact that they're still selling Skull Merchant is that should be considered a crime. It's honestly ridiculous, and I would argue inexcusable. Each individual update they have made has not been, like... it's not like, oh, this is so horrifically terrible in a vacuum, but the game is not a vacuum. It exists with other updates and other parts. There's a lot of moving parts that make that game operate, and the unfortunate thing is, they never stop making additional updates, and when those updates compound together, it just results in an unfun experience. Where, like, yeah, sure, the anti-camp changes on their own, should have been fine. But you combined that alongside several other things that has made it more difficult to begin with, and it just results in a worse experience for everyone. It's like, we are in a new meta of just, like, as soon as you can slug survivors, that's all you can do. Because at the end of the day, it's like, they've put so much anti-tunnel and anti-camp into the game now that going for hooks is a losing way to play. It's, like, actually, like, so bizarre. Like, the best way to handle a game now is to just leave people to bleed out on the ground. And even that still has a good amount of ways to get around it. It's just that it has the least amount of ways to get around it. Like, genuine unfortunate situation. And here's the thing, a lot of initial kill counts were inflated to begin with. The reason that killers used to kill considerably more on paper is because the way the old hook system worked is that if you continuously, like you had to continuously be mashing on hook as to not die. And if you missed one on the second stage, you died instantly. There was no, like, second chance. You died. And that was removed because it was unfair, and there was an easy way to get out of it by utilizing a free-scrolling mouse and just letting it free-scroll and just never avoiding that. But there was never any compensation put into place for those ways of getting kills. Like, it's, like, on one hand, it seems like it would be, like, on one hand, it's way better that people don't have to mash anymore to survive. It's a lot more fair. But that it being fair immediately damages a lot. Because the fact is, people who were worse at the game were now surviving longer, which means they get put into higher MMR, which means that they get put into harder matches, which is not what they want. So it ends up fucking with the system a lot more. Basically, behavior doesn't know how statistics work. No, they don't. Because they do everything by spreadsheets. They look at each aspect of Dead by Daylight balance is balanced according to a spreadsheet that is entirely devoid of any amount of context, and it may genuinely be, like, the most frustrating thing, because the most powerful perks on paper do not get, they do not get nerfed, because when you put them on paper, they don't look good. Now, why is that? Well, back in the day, like, for example, Old Object Obsession was the best perk in the game. And the reason for that was, in a lobby of 4 survivors working together, one person used Object of Obsession, and the killer saw that survivor using the perk the entire game, and that survivor saw that killer the entire game. So what that does is it makes it so that it is far more likely for, in a group, that person who is being targeted, essentially, with Object of Obsession, to be able to put out, like, call-outs the entire game, telling people exactly where the killer is and how they're moving, and, like, you know, if they were placing down traps or anything. So, you know, it made it so the other teammates were not getting caught at all. And the person who was running Obsession would end up being the one who died, if anyone did, because they were the one who was constantly revealed. And what that meant is that people using Object of Obsession were underperforming on the spreadsheets. So, the perk was not fixed for a very long time, because according to the spreadsheets, it was something that was making the game harder for individual survivors, because they weren't looking at this in a whole game context of, yes, that person died, but the rest of their team got out without being hooked once, without being chased once, without being found once. And, you know, it's just like, other perks, like, you know, Shoulder the Burden now is the best perk in the game, because if someone is good and knows how to use it, it completely removes any amount of agency for the killer, because it just removes a hook state from someone and gives it to someone else. And that can make, even without tunneling, that makes, you know, the game significantly more difficult, because you've moved, like, all of the pressure onto someone else. And if you divide that pressure, it becomes infinitely harder. And yeah, it just, the issue is people use that too aggressively, and they will end up dying for using it instead of, you know, using it to its fullest potential. Which means that, you know, people will die, and for essentially no good reason, and isn't seen as an issue, because, well, if people keep dying using it, even though people who are good using at it can literally derail an entire game, yeah, it doesn't work. Teams of survivors should be viewed as a collective. How the fuck is this balancing? I don't know. It's far from the most offensive level of, like, not understanding that the community has been subject to. My favorite one, personally, is the fact, when people were talking about, you know, the pallet density update happened last year, has made the game pretty much entirely unplayable on the killer side. I'm not even going to mince words. It is genuinely stupid. There is no way to create a dead zone. There is no way to play around pallets anymore. There is always more safety within line of sight. You will never run out of pallets in a game ever again. And that makes the game significantly more difficult for the low tiers, and for high tiers that don't particularly care about pallets, it doesn't really matter. So it creates an even bigger fucking gap. And what happened is, on stream, when the devs were talking on, like, the anniversary, they mentioned how they were going to update the map for Saw, and, you know, they asked the chat, they asked Twitch chat, oh, so what do you think are any, like, problematic elements of this map that need to be changed? And the game is notorious because it used to be, when it was initially added, it was incredibly killer-sided, and it had basically no safety, and the level of, like, walls and stuff were really frickin' bad, so it let them not get into a state where they would ever be safe. So as a genuine, like, slapdash hack job, they filled that map with as many pallets as possible. It is the most pallet-heavy map in the game, and now every map is actually on the same tier of it, which is horrifying. And basically, during that stream, you know, the devs asked, hey, is there any elements of this map that we should address? And everyone watching said, hey, you should really fix the pallets on this map because it's ridiculous. And the people on stream said, what do you mean? One of them was like, some sort of art director, not even, like, a developer, like an art director, and it was just like, what do you mean by palette? And it's just like, what the this is your fucking game, and you don't know what's wrong. Why is it on to the community every time to have to just, like, force the hand of balancing? I don't know how you would manage to get into this game when new. It's very difficult. I think it should be somewhat killer side, actually. Game based on slasher films, which tend to be killer weighted. Yeah. It shouldn't be a level of, you're just fucked for having your existence. But it is. It's fucked. Beyond belief it is fucked. And the issue is that behavior doesn't balance around people who are good at the game. They balance it around the loudest people who barely understand, like, how to speak. Like, they don't know how to do anything on their own. Everything in the game is just, like... Every killer perk is balanced around a killer that is too strong for the game. Every killer perk essentially has to be built around the fact that Nurse cannot use it, and it makes it so that any other killer that, like, it's fucking 1v4. If they can't work together, that's a communication problem. Yep. And here's the thing, even with that, they have added so much ability to communicate in the game, especially recently, is like they have everyone can see each other's perks at all times now. They've made it so that you can actually see what survivors are on your team and which ones are injured and stuff. I don't know. I don't get it anymore. They just... I'm trying to think, like, because one killer is good, like, too good for the game, and honestly I think that's completely reasonable because killers should be strong. Killer is balanced around the best potential killer players, and on the best potential killer. Survivor is based upon the worst, least human, like, least sentient forms of life that have been able to play Dead by Daylight. Like the LJ that has been taught to play this video game is how they balance Survivor. Could you please die? Oh my god. And over time, they've buffed, like, crutch perks. Like, I will fully admit to using Windows of Opportunity, and it is 100% a crutch perk. It just makes chase 1,000 times easier. It used to be worse. It genuinely used to be pretty okay and fairly balanced. Nowadays, not so much. Nowadays, it's just, well, you understand. Okay, well, I'm dead instantly. That's okay. That's the hunting rifle, I'm pretty sure. It did 220 damage immediately. That's pretty impressive. Telling me the beings literally picked by an eldritch entity to inflict terror on the souls of regular people should be strong? Yeah, pretty much. They decided that, no, they should not be strong. It's, fairly concerning, honestly. And I don't get it. Affleck. I'm so happy that Jason Voorhees exists in the state that he currently does, because he is genuinely, like, strong and incentivizes survivors to use stealth and perks that, like, don't really exist in the meta anymore. It's so nice. He is a genuine breath of fresh air. And people hate going against him because he's so different. So they're immediately going to change how he plays. I'm 100% sure of it. They're going to nerf that man into oblivion, unfortunately. And I ain't talking the Bethesda game. Where the hell is this man? Oh god, okay. I did it! I won! That's the power of being gay, bitch. We win. Top 10 wins, baby. The entity is starving because the killers can't do their job. At this point, I'm pretty sure they've decided to just reverse it and make it so that the entity is now being fed off the killer's suffering. Look at us. Look at us win. Okay, I think the only one that I need to do now is the Galaxy boss sprite. Okay. Why is my phone not charging? Please charge. Why am I hiccuping? This motherfucker muted my goddamn Miku. Entity feeding off killer suffering for every lost match. Another Springlock gets added to William Afton's suit. Yeah. It checks out for me. Oh wow, yeah, these people are going to... I have a feeling I'm going to be followed out of the bus today. Unfortunately, the place where I normally grind is at the end of the goddamn thing, so I have no idea where to grind for this one. I guess it doesn't matter, because I'm already maxed out on Sprite Dust. If they kill me and take it, it doesn't matter. Also, Dead by Daylight, their community managers have gotten worse and worse. They have gotten genuinely to the point where the level of hatred they have for their own community is genuinely, like, astonishing. Dude, what is your problem? Yeah, I told you I'd be followed out of the bus because I had a rare Sprite. There you go. Okay. That's always fun. That's why I'm really glad they decided to start giving you pistols at the start of every match for some fucking reason. Like, great. Just have a way to have the lowest common denominator manage to take everything from you in one moment. Immediately. Alright. It's fine, though, because it's not like I'm ever going to run out of Sprite Dust. Last year, when Dead by Daylight was doing, like, they changed how items worked last year. They did a full, like, rework of the mechanic where, you know, they redid maps and keys to bring them more in line with the rest of the game and be less of an era, less of a relic of a bygone era of design for them. And in doing that, they broke the perk streetwise really bad. And everyone was like, hey, you need to kill switch this because it's going to make the game entirely unplayable. And people kept saying, oh, no, like, you need to fix this, you need to fix this. And the devs were like, oh my god, I wish we never told you about the kill switch. Because, well, the community manager was like that. I wish we never told you about the kill switch, which is, you know, the kill switch is they just turn something off, that way it can be fixed in between updates. And even though what Streetwise did during that exploit was literally make it so that every item had infinite charges if you spent 2 seconds doing something, and, like, the community manager was just like, I wish we never told you guys we did this. And it was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? We need to fix a problem in the game that is genuinely making matches last under 5 minutes was the average match during the Streetwise exploit. And it took so much. It's like, I don't know what the fuck they were cooking there. It was genuinely fucking ridiculous. DBD's community managers are essentially a bunch of bitter Reddit mods. Yeah, I hate to say it. One of the more funny recent ones was the event. The details of the event kind of got a bit leaked, and people were like, "This seems a lot unbalanced, and will probably be a really big issue." And one of the most forward, like, community managers, who, you know, for the most part is pretty alright, what ended up being a bit of a smug prick, and he was like, oh, don't believe everything you see in leaks, you know, wait until you see it in the game. And it's entirely, like, what the leaks said, and it was as broken, if not more so, than we had initially thought it was. And I was just like, huh. And that guy immediately went on vacation after that, so it was just like, interesting. So, how we feeling? How we feeling, man? This is what you deem as completely fine and normal? Alright. Just like, listen. You could have just not addressed it. Like, because the rest of the event, afterwards, as soon as it launched, you guys didn't want to address anything until over a week into it, when the community didn't stop being like, hey, this is stupid, please address this. And, yeah, no, you could have just not addressed the leaks in the first place, and not acted incredibly smug about it. Like, that would have probably been, you know, for the best for you to not do that. Everything is fine when you don't play the game. People joke, but it is becoming abundantly, apparent that, no, behavior devs do not play their game. They really, honestly, truly do not. It has gotten to a point where it is unironically ridiculous. Like, it's famous that the devs are really bad when it comes to dealing with stuff like this. Namely, the entire reason that the flashlight item got nerfed from its initial iteration, which genuinely blinded instantly. I'm not talking after, like, a couple of seconds. No. as soon as a flashlight like lightly tapped the killer's eyeballs, it was over. Like there was instant blindness. And the only reason that got changed is because the head developer, Matthew Cote, on stream got into a match against the world's best Korean team at the time, where the entire game they followed him around with flashlights and made it impossible for him to do anything. They made it as abundantly clear as possible how bad the situation was. And it was fixed within days. So fucking simple. Just hire a group of frequent players for balancing sake. They do. That's the fucking issue. They do. They just don't listen to them. There is an entire, group in, that is literally called, I forget what it's called. The Advisor or something. It's a group of, the Fog Whisperers are people who have connections to the developers and all that. And then you have advisors, which were supposed to make it so that the game is more balanced for everyone playing. And they don't listen to the advisors. Otstarva, who I would consider the most popular of all Dead by Daylight streamers, he is incredible, does a lot of work, has an entire website dedicated to the best, beginner builds, best builds for specific killers, every single one of their add-ons, explaining what it does. He has multiple 12-hour-long guides for a multitude of different killers and, builds over the years, and explaining the tier lists and stuff like that. And they ignored him all the fucking time. They ignored him on stream as they were trying to do an event, and it got fucked over by people. It genuinely, unironically, he left the program because he was just like, I try my fucking best, and there's nothing I can do. They don't listen to me. I spend hours of my time with no pay trying to support this game and trying to make it go into a better spot, a more balanced and good spot so that everyone can play it and enjoy it, and they just entirely ignore it. How much of an ego do you need to have? Oh, a fucking mountain's worth, apparently. It's unironically ridiculous, and no, it's not a paid role. Otz was doing that out of his own love for that game. If you want to know how bad that, how bad Otz was doing after that incident on stream, where they were trying to do a fucking event for Behavior, starring different real-world celebrities for The Walking Dead, which was their most recent chapter, and he was trying and begging them to get them into, actually, fix the issue so that they could, run their fucking games normally, and they just would not listen, even when the celebrities vouched for the guy. You know what he did? This man went back to doing Dark Souls 2 hitless runs. That is the level at which how bad it was. Dark Souls 2 hitless. FromSoft games are bound. Not Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is actually notorious for how badly designed it is, in comparison to all the other FromSoft games. Yeah, that's what I wanted, game. I wanted to jump off the wall. I didn't want to continue running. Isn't there two versions? Probably. Every game has 13 versions nowadays. Ooh, what'd I get? Gummy Earth Sprite. Well, I already have that, but that's fine, I'll take it. I should play Bloodborne after I finish DMC 3. How did you get to DMC 3 so quickly? God damn, girl. Oh! We got a motherload of sprites there. No, I'll take this. Oh, come on, let me up there, please. Oh yeah, also, after that event's failure, Otz hosted his own thing with the celebrities. That way they could actually play the game and have fun. Not even joking. Walking Dead was a bad fucking time for the game. Like, holy shit. They fucked that one so bad. Whew. Starting DMC 3 because it's a prequel and the best designed out of the PS2 Really? Okay. I had no idea. My understanding, I don't think they've had a good time Listen, you're not wrong, but, you know, we try to pretend that they get better. Oh yeah, one of the other prolific Dead by Daylight streamers and content creators who was literally invited by Behavior to play a new killer before, like, during the testing phase and, like, record and share it with people. Yeah, he just quit last week. The event was so bad it broke him. He was just like, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth playing anymore. And that is, like, one of the most depressing things I have ever heard. It's just like, yeah, this dude who genuinely got invited to be with, to be with frickin', to be with the devs and see a new killer before, you know, they're officially revealed, before, like, they even have finished models for it, like, showing off the process of creating it, because, you know, it was part of their, like, labor of love, trying to, like, show, you know, like, it was the chapter that is designed entirely by fan votes, and that dude who was literally invited by Behavior to do that is no longer playing the game. He decided it was no longer worth his time, his energy, nothing. He decided, you know what, it's not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. Just sad. Like, it genuinely makes you feel bad, because you're just like, wow. Shit on Street Fighter 6 all you want. He mostly deserves it, but at least pro players at least still want to play the game. Yeah. He was like, I'm going to finish the videos I have in production that I've been working on for months, and then I'm just not going to play. And he was just like, I have been using the same footage on the killer side for the past year because it has been so unfun to play on anything other than the survivor side. And I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I'm done. And I feel bad because, you know, like, the game is so good. It really is. It just needs people to fucking care about it. Like, it really does. Like, the people who care about that game are nowhere near the levers of power, and you can tell there are people on the team who truly and honestly care, who truly want to make it good. It's like, anytime you see shit from, like, the creative department, it's like, the shit I shared today of, like, how they're doing the new Iron Maiden skin, and how it has so much unique to it, and potentially might be the first skin ever to do, like, certain things with their power. It's just like, well, like, they really try, and I don't know what they're, like, there is a disconnect between the developers in charge of balancing, where it's clearly done by, like, spreadsheets and, like corporate, like, consultancy firms. And then you have, like, you know, the fucking, like, art directors who really are doing everything in their power to make it the best they possibly can for the fans. And it's just like, God. Why does it have to be so fun? Why is it something that's, like, genuinely so much fun, and yet, like, they fuck it up so much? Like, they have been putting those spreadsheets through ChatGPT or Gemini for... Oh yeah, we're pretty sure they have. They've been very good at keeping AI out of their art department at the very least, but other than that, it's, you know, we're trying to remain hopeful, is all we're saying. But, like, catering towards survivors who don't know how to play has made the game worse for both solo queue survivors and for killer, and it has made the game unplayable. Like, it's genuinely upsetting. Sounds like communication has completely broken down there, so they probably don't even know what the art department is doing until they're done. Yeah! And that seems like it's been going on for quite a while, because, that is an issue that I brought up earlier, that there is a skin that has a custom Huntress hatchet that has never been used. I have won 2 games in a row. There's a Huntress skin that has a hatchet that cannot be used in-game because the game is incapable of doing that, or at least was at the time. And it was shown off in marketing materials, but it's not able to be used in-game because of other restrictions. So there is very clearly a distance between these departments that needs to be fixed. It makes me upset. The freedom from a lack of Dead by Daylight brings you victory. Hell yeah. I love the freedom motif. I love Undertale. Yay, my sprites are once again fully crowned. I'm still missing several, but that's fine. I don't really care. I enjoy extracting the sprites, but I don't need perfection. There we go. Now we have Ribbit. Perfect. Everything is fine now. My body is still in a large amount of pain, I'm not gonna lie. Gender frog. True. It's like a frog cat. I like it. Alien frog cat. I never played much of Neopets as a kid, but, you know, it's cool. Sorry, that seems to be a common theme. Yeah, my bones don't work, and I'm tired. I definitely have chronic pain, and I don't know what to do anymore. I just try my best, and that's all I can do.